What's up, all you beautiful people? Welcome back to the podcast. Seneca famously said, the healthy man wants 1,000 things. The sick man wants just one. At the core of that message is the understanding that the most important, most vital, valuable thing that you have is your health. Everything else, I don't care, your family, your fortunes, nothing else matters if you don't have your health. Your health is the table upon which everything else in your life rests. If that table is wobbly, if it has a broken leg, if the table collapses, everything in your life collapses. If you have bad energy, if you have low energy, if you run out of energy, the game is fundamentally harder or just plain over. So, one of the things I want you to think about as a founder, as an entrepreneur, is how do you lock in your fitness? And I'm telling you, the most successful entrepreneurs I know, they treat their health, their fitness, as though they were an elite athlete. They approach it with that same mentality. I am an elite athlete. Even if they're not competing at the absolute highest levels, they are very deadly serious about their health and fitness. And I'm really encouraged by the fact that over the last 10 years, I've seen a big shift in culture away from the unhealthy rise and grind, workaholic, sit on the couch, watch Netflix, drink beer culture. And really, I think a lot of people are starting to wake up to the fact that, it's not just enough to live a long life. I want to live a damn awesome life. And to live a damn awesome life, you got to be healthy. And so people are putting more emphasis not just into their health, their lifespan, but to their health span. How can I age more gracefully and get more out of this beautiful body that you've been blessed with? And so what I want to share with you today is just 4 things that I would encourage you as a founder to incorporate into your fitness journey so that you can maximize both the quantity and the quality of your energy, and you can take this vehicle, this beautiful vehicle that you're navigating this life within, and you can run it hard all the way to the finish line. So the very first thing that science and all the doctors, all the experts continually point to, the number one thing that will help you age better is strength. Being strong is a definitive advantage as you get older, because as you get older, your muscles deteriorate. The strength, the output, the power in which they're able to move things in the world, it decreases. And so it's critical that when you're young, you focus a disproportionate amount of your time on actually building strength. And this is not just men, this is also women. You need to take strength training incredibly seriously. You need to start packing on muscle right now while you can, because it's only ever going to get harder. And as it gets harder to add muscle, it gets easier to lose muscle. And one of the things that leads to death, early death, or decrease in quality of life in elderly people is usually revolving around some inability to have exerted strength on the external environment. They couldn't get up out of their chair anymore because they just didn't have the strength. They can't walk up the stairs because they don't have the strength. They can't pick up their grandchildren because they just don't have the strength. They tripped and fell down the stairs because they didn't have the strength to actually arrest their fall. So strength training is the number one thing I would recommend that everybody in the world incorporates into their life. Now, I would recommend, I'm on the lifting every single day, lift something heavy, grind, but if that's not you, if you're just starting off, I would recommend at least 3 days a week getting into the gym and lifting something heavy for at least 30 minutes to an hour. And it doesn't have to be crazy. I'm not saying that you need to be going to failure on every single rep, but you need to be getting in there and pushing yourself. This isn't just about going in there and lifting 5-pound dumbbells and going through the motion and getting tired. There's a difference between, getting tired and actually working out. And I see this all the time with rock climbing because, in a former life as a professional rock climber, I'd see this all the time. People would go into the gym, they do a whole lot of stuff that would make them tired, but didn't necessarily make them better. And so there's a difference between just going and running around, getting your heart rate up, getting tired, but actually moving the weights with intention and in a way that's going to move you forward. So some of the really big things, obviously, focus on compound movements so that your legs, your back, your core, those large, complex movement systems stay strong throughout the entirety of your life. That's number one, is strength training. Incorporate that at least 3 days a week into your calendar. Second is endurance. This is really close, actually, behind strength in terms of importance for longevity. VO2 max, which is just a measure of how effective your heart is, your cardiovascular system, how effectively what's the word here? It manipulates or is able to utilize energy systems within your body and to be able to flush out lactic acid. VO2 max is it has a really high correlation with longevity. Science, again, like a lot of research proves this out. So getting into the gym or getting out into the world and actually getting your heart rate up and working on improving your cardiovascular health, that's going to be massive. Now, this actually isn't as hard as you might think it is. You really just need to get out into the world and do, about 90 to 120 minutes a week of zone 2 work. And zone 2 work is really classified as just the rate of exertion that you could hold a conversation as you're doing it. It's a little uncomfortable, but it's not like you're going balls to the wall, just like frying your lungs. Like you could go for a hike up a hill. You could go for a low, very slow jog and be in zone 2. It's actually quite pleasurable. It takes a long time. But if you put in 2 to 3 hours a week in zone 2, that's a really good place to be. The second thing that you want to think about is spending one session per week trying to get up into zone 5. Now, this is the place that you want to die. Like zone 5 makes you want to cry and it's not pleasant, but the plus side is you only got to do it once a week and it's really, really short workout. It's very low in terms of how many hours or how many minutes you put into it. It's actually the Norwegian protocol is probably the best one for this, which is just 4x4, 4 minutes on, 4 minutes off. So that's go 4 minutes, balls to the wall as freaking hard as you can, and then take 4 minutes off, do 4 minutes on, do 4 minutes off, do that 4 times, and then you're done. Pretty much that's easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? Again, in rock climbing world, I just called this 4x4. And I didn't even know it was called the Norwegian protocol back then, but it was literally just you climb a boulder plumb, drop down, climb another one, drop down, climb another one, drop down, climb another one. You do 4 in a row, then you rest. Do 4, rest, 4, the rest. And you get your heart rate really high. It's going to feel horrible, but the plus side is it's done relatively quickly. And you get that workout in, that's going to help slowly increase your VO2 max. Don't skip on that one. I'm telling you, the benefits of zone 5 work, tremendous. But again, it sucks. So maybe find a training partner, makes it a little bit easier to actually motivate yourself to go do the workout and to actually push yourself into zone 5. That's the thing about zone 5. Like anybody can trip and fall and find their way into zone 2. You got to really want zone 5 for the most part. You got to want it to stay in it for the full 4-minute workout. So good luck, Godspeed. That's probably the most unpleasant of everything that we're going to discuss here. The third thing is stability. So again, as you age, stability is you lose your balance. It goes really, really quickly. And this is, you're no longer able to stand on one foot, right? And one of the things that leads to the decline in the elderly is usually around some kind of loss of balance and then the lack of strength to catch yourself from falling. So like you stumbled on a crack, or you saw a shadow and you're like, oh, and you like fell over, and then you didn't have the ability to like put a foot out and stop yourself and catch. So working on stability, working on agility. The best way I recommend for this, by the way, is find a game that you love and just play that game once a week. So that could be basketball. Think about like how much stability, like moving back and forth and cutting directions that you utilize in a game like basketball. You could play tennis. That's my old man sport, but golf probably isn't going to be the thing for you, but find some pickleball would be great for this, right? Pickleball is great as long as you don't blow out your ACL. Like it's a fantastic exercise. So working on your stability. The fourth and final thing that I want you to be thinking about incorporating into your weekly workout is flexibility. Flexibility. Well, again, as you get old and decrepit, your muscles, they get stiff. They don't move as good anymore. And you're not able to bend over, touch your toes, put your socks on, all that stuff. Like, I'm telling you, like, not being a crusty old bastard is the worst. Like, I'm not a crusty old bastard. I'm just observing it. Like, it looks miserable to not be like supple. You want to be a supple leopard. And so put in like just gentle stretching a couple times a week, do some yoga. I'm a big fan of dynamic stretching or just like movement-based exercises. I do jujitsu, and what I do before jujitsu to warm up is my flexibility routine. So you could even like find a game that you love doing and then incorporate the stretching and the flexibility work before you play the game. So now you doubled up on your flexibility and your stability work. Bam, and same workout. Look at that. Easy peasy. I'm telling you guys, though, this is like, I'm noticing more and more a strong correlation between the people who are the happiest in life and how fit and healthy they are. Like I'm sorry, like the healthier you are, the more enjoyable life is. And so just make it a priority. And that's not even to talk about nutrition and sleep. Just focus on the exercise right now. Get your body moving. It's a blessed gift that you've been given. Get out there and use it. I'm telling you, there's nothing better than having a body that rocks. So take that, run with it. Let me know actually down in the comments, what part of exercise do you find the hardest? Like which part is the biggest struggle? Is it the strength? Is it the endurance, the stability, the flexibility? What's your big weak point right now? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.